mature
Okay, first
speaking and
question
everything.
up. Amy, what do you think?
Why do we fear rejection?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So I do have to actually give you a little preface on this. And I was going to tell you during our little, 20-minute warm up talk, but we didn't have that. We had like 40 minutes of
We were
linkage
running.
is running from the back house. Um, but the funny thing is, this has come up in my life recently. And I don't mean rejection has come up in my life recently because it's always been there from day one. I have a birth story that had to do with rejection, but that's a longer story. But some stuff has been happening in my life recently, and if you had asked me a couple months ago if rejection was an issue in my life, I'd have thought no, because I was raised by a mama who taught me really, who cares? I mean, I know it affects you and everything, but shake it off, shake off. I know enough not to care about what people say. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt,
Yeah.
but I don't carry it around. I thought. So I
Mm.
wasn't working on this area of my life.
Mm.
And I was talking to somebody who's reading that book, Goliath Must Fall, I think it is, by Louis Giglio.
Oh, I love that guy.
It's a big deal right now. It's all his sermons, and I will say it's some really amazing stuff. And she mentioned the giant of rejection is one of the many giants in there,
Mm.
and how we fear it. And this big light bulb went on that I wasn't working on it because I didn't think it was an issue of mine, but because I wasn't working on it, it had become a giant in my life that I think I'm real strong in the area of not worrying about rejection, but I will say this. I'm dealing with some stuff in my life. I am surrounded by it more than I ever have been, and in very strong ways. And I realized that I was functioning in a great fear of it. I'm just living in this nausea of the shoe dropping. And one of the things that Louis says in his book, and then I'll hush about this, um, whatever giant you're working on in the course of this collection of giants that he talks about,
Mm.
he consistently says that worship is the answer to each one. And me, I'm just thinking of a general sense of, worship, and it's a great devotional place to be. And when somebody told me that's what it said in the book, I thought, but why? How is that the answer? That's not really going to solve my problems.
Right.
And they said that the book says that when you are worshiping, you are denying everything that is not of God because you are focused on everything that God is. And I just got this image of a lighthouse in my mind where that light can only point in one direction. And if the light is pointed on facing, focusing on your fears and the whatever it is that you're dealing with, may not even be rejection, it may be something else. And
Mm.
you flip that light around through worship to focus on all that God is, it's not that it's not there all of a sudden, but it's in the dark. It's not where your focus is you flip your light to the other side. And then ever since they told me that, I've been noticing of all the different things we do in churches across the country and all the different styles of church we have, you have really kind of conservative Baptist pews, hymnals. People are still, choirs. My family lives in North Carolina. I've been in a million churches that are still exactly what church was 100 years ago, and
Yeah.
versus you have Bethel doing what they're doing, and you have rock service for the young folks. You have all these different kinds of
Yeah.
churches, all these different kinds of approaches to church, but they all start with worship. They all, for the history of mankind, have started with flipping that lighthouse around and focusing on the other side. And human beings aren't that organized, so I feel like that's what God did.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's amazing. I like that.
So
For
listen,
me, I'm going to answer the question now. Why do we fear rejection? Um, I think it's the same as I'm going to bring it down to like a real, uh, real life, I guess, my own, of course. Rejection. My fear right now is, my ministry, right? We're doing the music, and we're out on bass. I did a little stuttering there, but my fear now is moving forward
hmm,
and being rejected. Like, God gives you an idea, right, of where, but then of course as humans want us to have we have our own idea, right? And of course, it sucks, but I like it. So when it comes to military and our music, I always have big ideas, and in my team we all sit together and we pray and say, "Hey God," that's how I pray too. I say, "Hey God, how you doing? Um, how you doing this morning? I got this little plan. What do you think?" And of course, before he even answers what he thinks, I'm like, "Okay, cool," but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and try.
Mm,
You know,
mm-hmm.
and I think that's when the fear of rejection comes up more because it's my plan now. You know, instead of listening to him and just going by faith. I mean, either way, I have that fear because as humans, we're trying to push our idea on there. So
Mm-hmm.
if I get rejected, my team's looking at me like, "Man, you suck." But
I know I do.
it's that kind of fear that I have that pertains to my life now. Um, so I don't know anybody else dealing with fear of rejection, but that's what I'm dealing with right now. And even with this broadcast, I never really liked going live or doing videos because you look at what happens. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that was funny when you send me that message yesterday, like, "Oh, I'm not like you get up and talk and blah blah blah." Remember the message? I'm like, "Girl, calm down.
Chill
It's just a
about it.
conversation."
Yes.
but but it's that, and I think God is bringing this fear of mine and just throwing it in my face, like, just trust Him, and
Mm-hmm.
I think we can get rid of a lot of our rejection just by trusting. But like I said, I have ideas. And of
Okay,
course they're
cool.
crazy. They're crazy. I'm like, hey, Jesus, can I do this? Oh no, hold on. Let
Okay,
me go try
cool.
it first. Cool. All right. But that's how that's how we deal with a lot of things. We just want to jump in the front, and especially us as women. Oh, we got ideas. We gotta move. Get up and get your tea, coffee, whatever it is. Head out the door and conquer the world, And then the rejection comes up, and we're like, "Oh no, no, you didn't. We
Oh,
didn't even get
snap.
on Be Live. We didn't even go attend." And had 21 guests today, and they were all called Amy. Oh, hello.
That's quite a
And of
lineup.
course, you know what I'm saying? But we have Terry. Hey, Miss Terry, you can pop in anytime and throw a little comment to us. But that's my fear of rejection right now. It's just my plans, and if it doesn't work out, then I feel like I'm a I'm a loser. No, that's this.
It goes here.
Or
You
like
can't even